I'm Ruth, 53 years old, spent Jose's entire childhood making sure he'd be different from other boys. Can't even remember when it started exactly. Maybe when he was 3 and tried to wrestle with another kid at the park. Pulled him away immediately. Sat him down for a long talk about consent and respecting others' space. The other kid's mom looked at me weird, but whatever. I was doing the right thing. Fast forward through elementary school. Never let him play with toy weapons. When he wanted to join Little League, I suggested art class instead. Told him competition creates toxic hierarchies. Encouraged him to cry whenever he felt like it. Made sure he understood that traditional masculinity was a cage. Felt so proud watching him opt out of dodgeball, sit with the girls at lunch. He was going to be better than those other boys. He was going to be emotionally available, sensitive, aware. Middle school hits. Jose comes home saying some boys pushed him, asked him what he did. I told them it hurt my feelings like you said. They laughed at him, went to the school, demanded they implement restorative justice circles, told Jose that those boys were acting out their own trauma, told him to have compassion for them. He looked confused but nodded. High school was rough. He didn't have many friends. The boys thought he was weird. The girls liked talking to him but never saw him that way. Told him that was fine, that real connection was about emotional intimacy. Told him the right person would appreciate his sensitivity. Told him he was ahead of his time. Helped him pick a college major focused on social impact. None of that business or STEM stuff. That's all capitalist machinery anyway. He'd find meaningful work helping people. Felt so confident I'd raised him right. Now he's 26 and everything is falling apart. I mean, everything. First, it was his job. He got hired at some nonprofit, thought it would be perfect for him. Came home after 2 months looking destroyed. Mom, I need to talk to you. Sat down expecting him to share his feelings like always. Instead, he's shaking, hands clenched. I got fired today. What? How? They said I wasn't meeting deadlines, that I couldn't handle criticism, that I made everything into a big emotional event. Told him that workplace sounds toxic. No, Mom. No. You know what my supervisor told me? She told me I needed to develop thicker skin. She's a woman, Mom. A woman told me that. Said maybe she's internalized some things. Stop. Just stop. Do you know what happened? A coworker gave me feedback on a project. Regular feedback. And I started crying at my desk in front of everyone. Felt a little twist in my stomach. Told him it's okay to show emotion. I'm 26 years old, Mom. I cried because someone told me my spreadsheet needed work. Do you understand how that looks? He'd never yelled at me before. Not once in his entire life. And it's not just that. There was a promotion. Me and another guy, David, we were both up for it. But there was this whole thing where we had to present our cases, really advocate for ourselves, asked what happened. I couldn't do it, Mom. I told them I thought David deserved consideration too, that I didn't want to create a competitive environment, that we should maybe share the role. That sounds mature, actually. Bo, they gave it to David. Obviously, they gave it to David. And you know what he told me after? He said, "Thanks for making that easy, man." He was laughing at me. Tried to tell him that David sounds insecure. He got the promotion. He got the raise. He's not insecure. He's successful. And now I'm unemployed. He stormed off to his room. He's living with me again. BW has been for 8 months. Thought maybe it was just a bad fit job-wise. But then there's the whole situation with Claire, his ex-girlfriend. He met her at a community event last year. She seemed nice, if a bit assertive. They dated for 4 months. One night, Jose comes home early from her place, eyes red. She broke up with him. Mom, she said. She said she feels like she's dating a child. That's harsh. She said every time she has a bad day, I fall apart worse than she does, that she can't vent to me because I get too overwhelmed. Told him she needs to work on her own emotional regulation. She also said, God, this is humiliating. She said, there's no sexual spark. Okay. I didn't want to hear that. We had a conversation once about intimacy, and I told her I wanted her to initiate everything, that I wanted to make sure I had continuous consent, that I never wanted to assume. That sounds respectful. She said it made her feel like I was terrified of her, like she was some kind of predator. She said she wanted me to actually want her to show it, to just be a man about it. Those words hit different. Be a man. Told him she's been conditioned by patriarchy. You always say that everything is patriarchy. You know what else she said? She said her friends asked what she saw in me. That when we're out, I let everyone talk over me. That I apologize for things that aren't my fault. That one time when a guy was clearly hitting on her in front of me, I just stood there. What was he supposed to do? Fight him? Something, Mom? Anything? Tell the guy to back off. Put an arm around her, literally anything except what I did, which was wait quietly until she handled it herself. He was pacing now. She said, dating me is exhausting because she has to be the man and the woman in the relationship. Tried to say, that's heteronormative thinking. I don't care. I don't care about the theory, Mom. I care that I'm alone again. Every girl I've dated has left me for the same reasons. He wasn't wrong. There was Sarah before Claire and Maya before that. Both lasted less than 3 months. Both ended similarly. The next few weeks were tense. Jose was job hunting, getting rejected. Chai stopped talking to me much. Then one night I made dinner. He came down. We ate in silence. Finally he spoke. I saw Marcus today, his childhood friend. Haven't heard that name in years. We got coffee. Haven't talked to him since high school. Really? You know what he's doing? Shook my head. He's a project manager at a tech company. Makes 6 figures. He's engaged. He coaches a youth basketball team on weekends. Good for Marcus, I guess. Yeah. Good for Marcus. Marcus, who you told me was being raised in a problematic environment because his dad had him in every sport. Marcus, who you said was being forced into a masculine mold? Oh no. He seemed happy. Mom confident. And you know what happened while we were catching up? Afraid to ask. The barista got his order wrong. Just brought him the wrong size. And he just politely but firmly told her, got it fixed, no big deal. Okay, I realized I would have just drank the wrong size. I would have convinced myself it was fine because you taught me that asserting myself was aggressive. Tried to interrupt, but he held up his hand. When we were kids and he'd win at games, you'd pull me aside and tell me winning isn't important. That collaboration matters more than competition. Competition can be toxic. And now he's winning at life, Mom. And I'm losing. I'm losing at everything. His voice cracked, but this time not in the sensitive way I'd taught him, in a furious, broken way. Weeks passed. He got a new job. Finally, office admin role. Overqualified, but he needed something. Thought things might improve. They didn't. Came home 3 weeks in, threw his bag down. There's a guy at work, Trevor. He's 23, 3 years younger than me. Already didn't like where this was going. He started the same day as me, same position, but he's already basically running team meetings. People listen to him. The boss loves him. Some people are just charismatic. He's not smarter than me, Mom. I know he's not. But when he talks like he's sure, even when he's wrong, and people respect it. And me. I was in a meeting yesterday. I had an idea, a good idea. I started to say it, but then I second-guessed myself. Used a lot of maybe and possibly, and I could be wrong, but you know what happened? What? Nobody responded. Just moved on. Then Trevor said, basically the same thing 10 minutes later. Stated it like a fact. Everyone loved it, called it great initiative. Told him he needs to work on his presentation. You think I don't know that, but I can't. Every time I try to be assertive, I hear your voice in my head. Check your aggression. Make space for others. Don't dominate the conversation. Those are good principles, not when you're trying to have a career. They're not. Not when every other guy in the room was raised to speak up and take charge. He sat down heavily. I have male coworkers younger than me doing better. Female coworkers who walk all over me. And you know the worst part? What? I resent them. I resent the women. Isn't that up? You raised me to be this perfect feminist ally, and now I'm sitting here bitter that women don't like me and more successful than me. That's just frustration talking. No, it's truth talking. For the first time, maybe ever. Didn't see him much after that. He started going out more, trying to make friends. Came home one Saturday night looking defeated again. Went to a bar with some guys from work. That's good. Socializing, is it? Because I felt like an alien, Mom. They were talking about sports. I don't know anything about sports. They were ragging on each other like friendly insults, and I didn't know how to do that. One guy made fun of my shirt, and I could feel myself getting hurt feelings. That's just them being immature. They're normal, Mom. I'm the weird one. One of them told a story about getting in a fight in college, and everyone was laughing, and I just I was internally horrified. You taught me violence is never the answer. It's not. But the story wasn't even about him being proud of fighting. It was just a funny story about being young and drunk and stupid. But I couldn't relate. I've never been in a fight, never even been close. Why would you want to fight? I don't. But Jesus, Mom, I've never even stood up for myself physically. Not once. And these guys could tell. There's something about me that screams pushover. That night, I couldn't sleep. Started thinking about all the parenting choices I'd made. Every time I'd redirected him from something too aggressive. Every time I'd praised him for crying. Every time I'd told him the world was wrong and he was right. Maybe. No, I did the right thing. The world is what needs to change. Not Jose, but watching him suffer. God watching him suffer was hard. Another month passed. He barely spoke to me. Came and went. Then one night he came into my room. Midnight woke me up. We need to talk. Actually talk. Turned on the light. He looked awful. Older somehow. Mom, I've been thinking a lot, and I need to say some things. Okay, you ruined me. Felt like I'd been slapped. Excuse me. You heard me. You ruined me. You took a normal boy and you turned me into this anxious, passive, weak person that nobody respects. You're not weak, you're sensitive. Stop saying that. Stop hiding it behind nice words. I'm weak, Mom. I can't handle conflict. I can't compete. I can't even go on a date without apologizing for existing. Tried to speak, but he kept going. Do you know why I really got fired from that nonprofit? The full story. You said deadlines and criticism. There was a project, big project, and there was another coordinator, Jessica, who kept taking credit for my work. In meetings, she'd present things I'd done as her ideas. That's awful. You should have reported her. I tried. I went to my supervisor, but you know how I did it. I said, I feel like maybe there's been some miscommunication about project ownership, and I'm concerned that Jessica might not realize that some of the initiatives were collaborative efforts. That sounds professional. It sounds like nothing. My supervisor literally didn't even understand what I was saying. She thought I was asking for more collaboration with Jessica, so she teamed us up more. Oh God. A normal person would have said, Jessica is stealing my work. 3 words. But I couldn't because you taught me that direct confrontation is violence. That I always need to consider everyone's perspective. That maybe I'm wrong. You were just being thoughtful. I was being a doormat. And then when deadline pressure got intense and Jessica threw me under the bus, told everyone I wasn't pulling my weight, I had no credibility because I'd never advocated for myself. Never. He was crying now, but not the gentle crying I taught him, was healthy, angry, frustrated tears. And dating, Mom, let's talk about dating. Do you know how many women I've asked out in my life? A few. I've asked out 12 women. Know how many said yes? The ones I met? 3. 3 said yes. All 3 left me within months. And you know how I asked them out? I would say things like, I really enjoy your company. And if you're interested, and only if you're comfortable, maybe we could sometime get dinner, but no pressure. That's respectful. It's pathetic. It's the most unsexy thing imaginable. One girl told me later she only said yes because she felt bad for me. Do you know how that feels? Stood up, wanted to comfort him. He stepped back. I don't want comfort. I want you to listen. Actually listen. Sat back down. He paced. You taught me that masculinity was toxic, that aggression was bad, that competition was a social construct meant to divide us, that I should cry and share my feelings and always prioritize others. Those aren't bad things. They're not bad, in addition to other things, but you made them my only things. You never taught me to stand up for myself, to go after what I want, to handle rejection without falling apart, to take a risk, to be brave. He punched the wall. First violent thing I'd ever seen him do. He looked at his hand, shocked at himself, then laughed bitterly. I'm 26, and that's the first time I've ever hit anything. How is that normal? Violence isn't the answer. Sometimes it is. Maybe not hitting people, but Jesus, Mom. Being capable of it, being willing to defend yourself, that means something to people. It signals something. He sat on my floor, head in hands. I joined a boxing gym last week. What? Don't worry, it won't make me a monster. But you know what I realized in the first class? I don't even know how to make a fist properly, 26 years old. And every other guy there, even the teenagers, they just knew. Their dads taught them, or they learned roughhousing with brothers, or just from being boys. But not me, because you wouldn't let me roughhouse, wouldn't let me play fight, wouldn't let me watch action movies without a lecture, wouldn't let me be a normal boy. He looked up at me, eyes hard. I'm going to ask you something, and I want the truth. Did you do this because you actually thought it was best for me? Or did you do it to prove a point, to prove your ideology works? Of course, it was for you. Was it, though? Because I remember times when I wanted to do normal boy things and you'd get this look, this disappointed look like I was failing you, failing the experiment. You weren't an experiment, wasn't I? You're perfect, sensitive boy. You're proof that toxic masculinity is learned, not innate. Your little project to show that boys can be different. That's not fair. You know what's not fair? Being 26 and having to rebuild my entire personality from scratch. Having to teach myself things other people learned as kids. Having to unlearn all your lessons. Stood up angry now myself. I did my best. I was trying to make you better than other men. Better. I'm worse. Mom, by every measurable metric, career failing, relationships failing, friendships barely existent. Mental health, I'm on antidepressants and in therapy. Lots of people need therapy. And you know what my therapist said after months of sessions? She said, I need to work on boundaries, on assertiveness, on not making myself small, on accessing my anger in healthy ways. She's teaching me the opposite of everything you taught me. She doesn't understand. She has a doctorate and 20 years of experience. You have good intentions and the ideology. Who should I trust? That hurt. He saw it hurt. Didn't care anymore. Here's what's going to happen, Mom. I'm moving out. Found a roommate situation. Cheaper than getting my own place, but I need out of here. You don't have to leave. I do, because every day here, I'm reminded of what you made me. I look at the books you read to me, the toys you let me have, the activities you chose, and I get angry. Angrier than I knew I could be. And another thing, I'm done talking to you about my feelings. Done asking your advice. Done letting you tell me how the world should work. I'm your mother. You're the person who crippled me. Emotionally, socially, professionally. You meant well. I really believe you meant well, but you crippled me anyway. He headed for the door. Turned back. You wanted to raise a man who wasn't like other men. Congratulations. You did it. And I'm miserable. I'm lonely. I'm unsuccessful. I'm exactly what happens when you raise a boy to opt out of masculinity while every other boy is learning to navigate it, use it, moderate it themselves. They learn to be men and then refine it. I never learned the basics. And now I'm so far behind. I don't know if I'll ever catch up. Left me there sitting in the dark. Next few weeks he packed, barely spoke. Move out. Day came. Some guys from his boxing gym helped him. They were polite to me, but I could see them looking at Jose different. Like they were proud of him for leaving. Like I was the problem. After he left, I went through old photos. Jose at 5 wearing the pink shirt he wanted. Me beaming with pride. Jose at 8 at art class instead of soccer. Jose at 12 crying at a movie. Me telling him it's beautiful to feel deeply. Jose at 16, no date to prom. Me telling him he's too evolved for high school. Every photo I thought I was doing right. Every choice I thought was enlightened. Started reading different things, not my usual sources. Articles about boys struggling, studies about male development, perspectives I'd previously dismissed as patriarchal. Some of it was garbage, but some of it described Jose exactly. Boys who were taught that all their natural instincts were toxic, who became anxious and depressed, who couldn't function in a world that still valued assertion and competition, who fell behind their peers, who resented the ideology that shaped them. 3 months after he moved out, he texted asking to meet for coffee. My heart jumped. Said yes immediately. Met at a neutral place. He looked different. More muscle from boxing, different haircut. Sat down across from me, ordered his own coffee without the usual hemming and hawing. Mom, I'm not here to reconcile. Not yet. Maybe not ever in the way you want. Okay, but my therapist suggested I tell you how I'm doing, not to make you feel better, but for my own closure. Nodded. Just listened. I got a new job, sales position. It's uncomfortable every single day, but I'm doing okay. Learning to advocate for myself, to compete. That's good. I'm seeing someone, Nicole. She's different from girls I usually go for, more traditionally feminine, likes it when I take charge, and I'm learning how to do that. It's terrifying, but I'm learning. I'm making friends, guy friends. We play basketball. We don't talk about feelings much. And that's okay. It's actually really okay. I'm angrier than I used to be. I access it more. And weirdly, I'm happier. Like anger is fuel I never let myself use before. Wanted to say something. He held up a hand. Here's what I need you to know. I don't hate you, but I'm furious at you. Both are true. You're my mom, and you loved me. But you also sacrificed my well being for your principles. And that's something I have to live with. Every day, I'm unpacking things you taught me. Some of them are worth keeping. A lot of them I'm throwing away. And it's hard work, Mom. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. So, I can't have you in my life much right now, because every time I see you, I see the person who convinced me the world would reward me for being soft. And it didn't. It destroyed me for it. Tears running down my face now. Maybe someday we can have a different relationship. But right now, I need to become someone I should have been, and I need to do that away from you. He stood up, left money for both coffees. That was new too. Walked away. Sat there for an hour, replaying every choice, every moment I'd steered him away from what he wanted toward what I thought he should want. Went home, looked at my bookshelves. All the parenting books, all the theory, all the certainty. Pulled them down one by one. Stacked them in boxes. Didn't know what I'd replace them with. Didn't know if I'd been wrong about everything or just about how I applied it to Jose. Didn't know if I should feel regret or if the world should change to accept boys like I raised him. But I knew one thing. My son was happier without my guidance. My son was succeeding by rejecting my teachings. My son was becoming himself by unbecoming what I made him. And I had to sit with that. Had to sit with the possibility that I'd hurt him while trying to help him. That I'd loved him but failed him. That my vision of who he should be blinded me to who he actually was and what he actually needed. 6 months later, Jose called. First time in months. Mom, Nicole and I are engaged. Oh my God, congratulations, thanks. We're having a small thing. You can come if you want. But Mom, yes, don't give a speech, don't offer advice, just come and be happy for me. Can you do that? Yes. Yes, I can. Went to the engagement party, watched Jose with Nicole. He was protective of her, put his arm around her. Spoke up when someone made a joke at her expense. Was decisive about things, was confident, was everything I'd tried to teach him not to be. And he was happy. Genuinely happy. Nicole pulled me aside. He talks about his childhood sometimes. Oh yeah, he's working through a lot, but I want you to know I see who he's becoming. And he's a good man. Thank you. He's learning to balance things, keep some of what you taught him, add what he missed. He'll get there. Wanted to believe that. Wanted to believe some of what I did was right. But watching him laugh with his guy friends, watching him be comfortable in his own skin, all I could see was he had to leave me to find this, had to reject me to become this. And maybe that was the final lesson. The one I never wanted to learn. That sometimes loving your child means letting them be who they are, not who you need them to be. Not who your ideology says they should be. Just who they are. But I learned it too late, and now I sit with that every single day. Be me, Ruth. The mother who tried to change the world by changing her son and lost him in the process. And maybe he'll come back someday. Maybe we'll rebuild something. But it won't be what I wanted. It'll be what he allows. And I'll have to accept that, because I don't have a choice, because he's not mine to shape anymore. If he ever really was. And that's the thought that haunts me most. Maybe he was never mine to shape. If this confession kept you hooked, make sure to subscribe, like, and share. We share powerful true stories every day that explore the complex realities of life.